Welcome back to Priceline Stadium here in Adelaide. It's day 5, the final day of the 2018 Trans-Tasman Cup. Michael Hutchinson with you for this 23 and under clash. Davey Mills alongside me for this one. I don't know if that's your nickname, but you have got it now. Australia victors by 35 and 32 goals. That's pretty impressive across this tournament so far.
Absolutely, and I can't see anything changing for this test match here. Just watching the two teams warm up. The Australians looking very sharp. I think they want a clean sweep and a whitewash of this Trans-Tasman series.
Oh, look, and now the pressure's on. I do think that Draven Lee Torua's introduction did assist New Zealand in that second test, but still the tenacity from the Aussies was far too great there, particularly strong through the mid-court.
Their mid-court is super strong, and it gives them plenty of options to get the ball into the shooters. The shooting percentage is ridiculously high for such a young grade, so the guys are looking pretty solid. And I really, as much as I'd like to see a closer match, I just think the margin may actually even increase for this third test.
Look, it's a strong possibility, and I guess that within the depth of the Australian team, they've got the opportunity to put out a third different starting lineup.
They can do that. Yeah, they're very versatile. Guys can play multiple positions, but I just think the volume of shots that they get to their big men, particularly Bryce, is going to make the difference in this game. I just can't see the Kiwis turning around, 32-goal margins and making the match, taking one of the matches.
So we'll come back with you shortly here at Priceline Stadium. You're watching the 2018 Trans-Tasman Cup. So, welcome back. David Mills just having a little bit of a dance to Beyonce. He thought I wasn't going to mention it.
But she goes all right, though.
Yeah, she goes. Well, she does all right. She does that hand thing. Yeah.
So.
We have the lineups in front of us. So, the Aussies will start with Stephen Bryce at goal shooter, Cowling at goal attack, Edwards, Forcadia and Noon in the mid-court, Martin and Selvage, the defensive duo. For New Zealand, Ephraim Ormsbury, who has started both the first and second test at goalkeeper, will start at goal shooter today. Draven Lee Torua at goal attack. Totomo, Puroku and Tan, the middle three. Woodley and Evans, the defensive duo, with Bishop, Jellicoe, Lalanga and Adlin on the bench. So plenty of changes the New Zealand team have actually put out across the first two tests in search of a combination that's going to work for them. Do you think this is one that's going to contest yours a bit better?
Well, Potentially, yes, but Ormsby moving to shooter when he came on in the second test, he only hit 3 out of 7, so 43%. It doesn't give you a lot of confidence when your main shooter is coming into that sort of form. But then again, we don't know what they do back home. Maybe he shoots most of the time, so I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
I guess the thing is too is you really haven't seen Ormsby and Litorua in the circle together because Draven moved to the defensive end when Ormsby went into shooter.
That is true. So hopefully it does. They're just got to get more volumes of shots. That's the big thing for this. But the Australian midcourt, particularly Jack Edwards, is just so hard to get through, and they put so much pressure on the Kiwis to get it into their shooting circle. So I just can't see that making that much of a difference. Obviously, coach knows better than I do, so he's trying everything he can to get the best out of his side.
Funny you mentioned Jack Edwards. I'm really glad he's got the start. I've watched him the past couple of years at the Australian Championships, and he sometimes can get quite frustrated with what's happening in his attack end, but he's always had the skill and the body of work to be able to put it out at this international level. So I'm really glad that he's been able to have this opportunity. These umpires for today, Lisa Harm from Australia and Tina Frew from New Zealand, and the reserves, Jordan Kiss from Australia and Angela Jowett from New Zealand. So the two teams will be called out on court. We'll have the national anthems and an exchange of gifts.
Exchange of gifts.
Well, did you bring anything for me?
Oh,
just hand me your wallet. So,
got some Redskins here.
So a little memento is a signifier of a welcome to the country, and thanks for the competition across the week of the Trans-Tasman Cup.
Absolutely, it's good to see a few more people here today rather than through the week. So
there's a big barbecue on. There's a massive barbecue on out the front. Stamina, the South Australian Men's and Mixed Netball Association have got an all-day barbecue. It finishes at 6 o'clock tonight. Dave's been out there for a couple of hours already this morning.
Breakfast was nice this morning, I won't lie.
Well, I wasn't going to say you were working. You were tasting the wares.
Someone has to taste the product before you sell it.
Right, yeah.
Taste quality control, my friend.
Absolutely.
So, it's very important in business. Thumbs up from Davo. So.
Too right. So motion carried on the food here at Priceline Stadium today. So we'll head courtside as the two teams are going to be announced onto court.
We're also going to be having an exhibition match featuring some of those players, as well as some from our junior academy.
Maybe not. Maybe they're not ready. Coming up next at 4 p.m. is the Mixed Open Division. Australia have already got both hands on the Trans-Tasman Cup, having won the first two tests, and at 6:30 tonight we'll go live at 6:15 on the live stream. The Open Men's, who they were a little uncharacteristically shaky in that third quarter last night, Dave.
Third quarter was a bit rusty for them. It just didn't gel as well as it did in the first test. Like, they made mass changes at halftime in both tests. First, seamless. Second one, yeah, it was a bit scrappy. But then again, with Cruz coming into the Kiwi side, I think he gave them a lot more energy, and I think that rubbed off the entire team. A much more controlled performance from their 51 test veteran. He was much stronger at the back, wasn't throwing as much ball away, and therefore I think the Kiwis played better, and Australia were just a little bit off the game. The match was really over by half time, so it's probably half of those boys to come on and dominate the way they did in the first test.
Congratulations also to the New Zealand 20s who have taken the Trans-Tasman Cup. It's the first time it's been a 20 and under division. It's previously been a 19 and under division, but some great players, stars of the future of international netball in the New Zealand 20 and under side, winning that cup 2-1 with a 42-35 victory. Really set it up in that first half. They hadn't led at half-time in either of the first two tests, but took a handy 7-goal lead to the main break and were able to hold on in the end.
It's been a great series, the 20s, and it is good to see the Kiwis very strong in that division, because that is the future. Fingers crossed now that'll reflect in their seniors, probably not for a few years. Like, the next step will be stronger in 23s and then to the Opens from there. But with the Australians dominating the 23s and the Open division for as long as I can remember now, it's important that the Kiwi juniors are coming through and therefore give us a stronger competition in the Trans-Tasman.
Could not agree more. Dave Mills, we're going to head courtside now as the two teams are going to be announced onto court.
Jack Edwards. Centre and captain, centre Liam Boodia. Wing defence Jake Noonan. Goal defence and captain Cameron Martin. Goalkeeper Nathan Selvidge. Substitutes Brandon Pistori, Jason Hurd, Luke Rhodes, Luke Marco Rawlings. Coached by Matthew Bromley, assisted by Jenny Lewis, manager Brooke Berry, physio Brady Flag.
We would also like to acknowledge the umpires for today's game. We have Lisa Hum from Australia and Tina Frew from New Zealand, with reserve umpires Jordan Kiss for Australia and Angela Jowett for New Zealand. Can you please stand for the national anthem?
So the two teams, after the anthems, will now come in and shake hands, exchange a small token.
What is that token, Michael? Do you know?
I think one of them's like a little badge or something.
Oh,
I think the Kiwis are giving a little badge, and it says it's got a Kiwi with the Southern Cross on it. It says Trans-Tasman Cup 2018. I've got one in my hand. I've actually got one in my bag. I was given one as a gift, which was a lovely gesture from the New Zealand squad.
Excellent. Well,
I hope they've forgiven me for all the mispronunciations of surnames this week.
as long as you didn't call anyone old, that's the main thing.
No, just you, Dave.
Excellent. Well, that is true. That is not a lie, my friend. So. All right, everything's in readiness. Teams are on the courts. The umpires are making their way to the centre. Should be a cracker match, Michael.
Yeah, it should be. And Cowling, Edwards and Selvage getting the start today. They're the only three players who haven't had a start, and I know that was an aim of the coaching staff of Australia to actually provided an opportunity for every squad, team member to be given a start in one of the 3 tests. So it's nice to see that Coach Matt Blomley has been able to stick to that.
It's just a testament of the depth of the side at the moment, isn't it, that you can actually make that statement before you come away to a tournament. So, great luxury to have.
Oh, Bryce, just off target with his first attempt.
Cowley makes no mistake. Great intercept there. Jake Noonan.
I think Noonan's actually probably been Australia's most consistent performer across the first 2 tests.
Very solid.
Well, I hope he doesn't let me down today because I've just talked him up. So,
Commentator's curse, Michael.
I don't know. I've been more a crystal ball this week rather than a curse. Yeah,
That's
it's
excellent.
been great. Yeah, I mean, take a ticket, but it's been a pretty good week, I have to say, from a commentary perspective.
You're in fine form.
3-0 start to the Aussies. 2 minutes gone. A minute gone, actually, in the first quarter. So that's a very quick start.
Yeah, they got the quick turnover from Noonan and converted, and obviously they had the first centre.
The Aussies actually had a 7-1 start in the second test, and just umpire Lisa Hum knew what she was saying. Nathan Selvage wanted to take the throw in anyway.
He tried to con it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Oh, just sleight of hand. There was a last-minute move in the Kiwi goal circle. Well backed up from Fokadia. Oh, yeah, Evans, great take. Wasn't really given a lot of room to land by Bryce.
Bryce is a big unit compared to Evans, or compared to both the defenders from New Zealand. I think he's got a massive height and size advantage.
But what they've, like in height, they've got in speed.
Jack Edwards with the contact.
Edwards, yeah, forearm in the back of Tan on that occasion. Spotted by the umpire. To Tormore.
Kiwis are working so hard to try and just get it into their attacking third, so the defence from Australia has been amazing.
It's been massive all week. Ormsby in space. And held ball.
He did pump it twice, so...
Martin was a shrewd pass to him, but he ran onto it. Oh, Evans. Great intercept. Ball intended for Cowling. Lee Torua goes long, but Selvage in front.
It's 2 intercepts in the first 3 minutes to the Kiwi, Evans.
Aussies looking for a quick transition. Martin holds it up but swings it wide and long. Cowling, great timing on the base. Finishes for the Aussies, 4-0 and a centre pass to follow.
It's been a great start for the Australians. Edwards looking at home in the starting position at wing attack, isn't he?
He really is, and I think his discipline in his pass choice has really improved over the past year or so. He likes to throw the ball long and wide, and this week it's only happened once or twice. He's really committed to the short, sharp Australian style of game. Oh, great bounce pass from Lee Torua. He's trying to do it all himself in the Kiwi attack end. Ormsby scores New Zealand's first. 4 minutes into the first quarter.
Same score as the first test.
Cowling just pops it up. Looked outside, passed in. Bryce just off target. He was at 75% in the first quarter yesterday. And did take a seat on the pine for the second and third quarters.
On the pine. It's a nice analogy.
Well, it's better than saying on the plastic, isn't it?
I think it's a polycarbonate. So, nice
Nice shot from Ormsby.
He's found his range, defying his 3 from 7 in the last test. It's 2 from 2 now, is that correct? Yep.
Fogadia looks to reset. To Tomo had a crack. Noonan.
He's got a serious amount of tape on the tour.
Bryce, that's his 5th. It's 5 from 7. The New South Wales shooter. It's a better setup from Puroku driving to circle edge on the second phase. It's something that's been lacking from the Kiwi attack end. They can throw the ball long and deep into their attack end, but in order to reset and get a good position to shoot, they really haven't had the support down there, the goalers. It's a better start for them.
Well, the margin's 4, so they've sort of stopped the rot, so to speak.
Oh, beautiful look from Noonan. And a goal to Australia eventually. Tomo's stuck for an option. Woodley. Oh, Leitorua, look away pass to Ormsby. That attacking is functioning much better for New Zealand.
Leitorua is following the ball. Like when the ball's swinging into the pockets, he's driving into that pocket and really crowding the space. He'd be better off probably going in behind the shooter, Ormsby, and he'd probably create a 2-on-1 in there or a screen or something like that. Because when he gets into that space, that's when they're struggling to feed the circle. Invariably, they have to go back into the mid-third. So probably coach needs to have a quick word in his ear to get him to just find the space in the circle rather than drive into the crowded area.
Ball on Cowling. There's a bit of a chuckle about it. 10. 8-4 to Australia. 7 minutes gone in the first quarter. Evans. Oh, Jack Edwards. Great reach. Obstruction call on Woodley.
Very unselfish off to the big man. Takes a shot, makes no mistake. Stephen Bryce.
7 from 9 at 78% to start the game. Oh, Totomo just waited for Noonan to move at the centre pass and just took the spare space. Unlucky on Ormsby there. It was a good idea. Fokadia holds it up in the middle. Now runs onto it. Beautiful run onto the ball. And offload to Bryce. Aussies led 12-8 at quarter time in the second test after that 7-1 start. And Evans again, front position, first hand to the ball.
He's doing an amazing job on Bryce, given that he's giving away lots of inches in height, but his elevation is impressive and his anticipation and timing is
Absolutely.
superb. He's in the action again here.
Quick 1-2 with Edwards and Cowling. Was the right idea. And Australia take the lead to 7. Oh, great ball from Lee Tarua. Cross court via the floorboards. Ormsby misses his first attempt. His first miss, rather. And the Kiwis having to do a lot of work on this reset.
Bit of push and shoving there. Leitora is playing more like a wing attack at the moment. He needs to be getting more in that circle, give him 2 options in there, because at the moment Australia just sitting back on Ormsby and they're just picking it off pretty much at will.
Yeah, well, look, Lee Tarua shot 9 from 10, so his accuracy's there. The volume was down because the ball, wasn't getting to him, but they seem to be happy to go through Ormsby for the time being. Just over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Australia lead 12-5. They've already sewn up the Trans-Tasman Cup in the 23 and under division, having won the first 2 tests. Oh, Ormsby, great move. Nice jump from Selvage.
That's much better play there. The GO went into the space, created the space for Ormsby. He then had a one-on-one situation, and he'll probably dominate most one-on-one situations.
Oh, Noonan. A step from Bryce, unfortunately, but great vision from Jake Noonan. And likewise from Lee Tarua. That's probably New Zealand's best passage of play of all 3 tests.
Excellent transition there. The ball just flew down the court, no hesitation, timing was perfect.
The last 2 goals to the Kiwis, chance to make it 3. Te Tomo just goes straight into the circle, but too much on it.
Unfortunate that, because they were just having a little run there. So that'll break their momentum now.
Kiwis putting on the zone, the wall. Oh, good touch on it from Puruku.
It's getting a bit willing out there, isn't it, Michael?
Not as willing as the 20s. That was a fierce contest earlier this morning. Ormsby just shaky in the last minute or so. Edwards, good flick back into court. Aussies with a 5-goal buffer at the moment. Great drive from Liam Fokadia. And beautiful weight on the pass into Bryce.
Evans was close, wasn't he?
He can jump. Absolutely. He's going to put a bit of doubt into the Aussie minds as to how to feed Stephen Bryce. A breaking call on Australia. I think it was Noonan. So, free pass to New Zealand. And straight into the circle. The idea was there, the execution not.
It's where they need calm heads, like they created the turnover. Let's make sure they score off it.
That was a flat ball, but it made it to Bryce. He's 12 from 14 to start this game. He only shot 14 goals in 2 quarters. Oh, Selvage. Well read. Australia stream into attack. Fokadia uncontested.
Nice shot there by Cowling. He's been solid the bits I've seen him play. Like he hasn't started until today, but he has been solid every time he's been out there.
Yeah,
he's got a little bit of flair.
Yeah, phenomenal mover. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of speed. And he seems right at home with Bryce at the moment. Those guys are forming great partnership out there in this test.
Well, it's Australia's most prolific first quarter of the 3 tests with 16 goals and just under 2 minutes remaining. They had 14 in the first quarter in Test 1 and 12 yesterday.
Ormsby gone there for the shove.
That's 2 calls now, so he probably just needs to change the angle that he's standing at the moment. Again, an uncontested take.
Yeah, he seems like he's pushing off, so obviously he may not be the natural shooter we thought. He's just a big body, and that's sort of coming to the fore here with a few technicality type issues. So margin 10. It's a big gap at quarter time.
Great ball into space to Bryce. And he finishes, as he so often does. There's a big first quarter from Stephen Bryce, 15 from 17. Selvage, good take from Ormsby.
So much hard work for the Kiwis in there, isn't it? They're really, quite often having to go a long way back just to reset every time.
Oh, Lee Torua just it's just such a hard pass cross court.
It was a low percentage. But the Kiwis have been forced into low percentage plays due to the intensity of the Australian defence.
Absolutely. As we edge closer towards quarter time, about 10 seconds remaining, so the Aussies will look for a quick goal.
Evans again, that's his fourth.
Evans, contest let go from the umpire. Noonan, is he going straight in? Aussies don't have enough time, but they will take a handy 10-goal lead at quarter time in the 23 and under division. You're watching the 2018 Trans-Tasman Cup from Adelaide. So back here at quarter time in the 23 and under division, Australia lead 18-8. Dave Mills. We were talking about Ormsby in the break. He's shot 8 from 10. He shot all of New Zealand's goals, but perhaps they need him against the height of Bryce in the defence end.
Absolutely. Bryce is just dominating too much. So they've sort of weakened the strength to strengthen a weakness, and it hasn't quite worked for them. Australia's had their best output in an opening quarter of this series so far. Bryce is just Evans has done a great job on him. He's got 4 intercepts off him, but he's still dominating in there too much. So Ormsby, to me, doesn't look like he's a natural shooter. He's been caught for a couple of push-offs and stuff like that, which indicates to me he's probably more a defensive player than a shooter. So maybe switching back and see if that has any effect on the Australian offensive end.
Stephen Bryce, 15 from 17 at 88% in that opening term. Jaden Cowling, 3 from 5 at 60%. And as I said, Lee Torua without a shot to his name, and he's moved to goal defence. Evans still at keeper, Lee Torua to goal defence, Tan at wing defence, Puroku still at centre, Tetomo is still at wing attack. Bishop has come on at goal attack for New Zealand, and Ormsby stays at goal shooter. For Australia, a couple of changes also, with Marco Rawlings coming on to goalkeeper, Luke Sproats to wing defence, and Braden Pastor to goal attack.
So turnover straight off the first set of pass to Australia. Bryce makes no mistake. There's a man on the floor. It's Pastoral.
He's up now. He calls for it.
Misses a shot, but gets the ball into Bryce.
He's averaged 83% across both tests. Braden Pastori.
It's a high volume of shots too, 29 and 23. That's a lot for a goal attack. So particularly when they've got a massive unit in a shooter.
Just goes to show that the Aussies aren't using Stephen Bryce as, a focal point to shoot 40 goals a game. Oh, Tetomo.
Again, a low percentage play, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the Aussie thought the ball was meant for him, but actually he was the screen. So Aussies notch up 20. Had to duck then.
Yeah. It's good to be back playing. So, it's been about 25 years.
One possession, D Mills.
Put me down for a touch.
Oh, Fokadia, great drive and great timing from Bryce actually to release from his hold to be able to receive that pass into space.
It was very, very slick, that move. Look for all money that Pastoral was going to get that ball. Ooh, clash of bodies. Both Australians out.
It was a Lee Torua sandwich.
Nice feed.
Oh, Bishop, sorry, he's gone to wing attack. And to Tomo to goal attack. I thought
they switched.
Bishop, yeah, was on a goal attack. My apologies.
So they took the tall goal attack out and put probably the shortest guy in the division in at goal attack. Obviously looking for more movement in the circle, which was lacking a little bit there. The space was getting confused in the first quarter.
So 4-2 the quarter break, 22-10. Almost 3 minutes gone in the second term. Martin sends the Aussies into attack. Edwards, great pass into Bryce, his New South Wales teammate. And the 2019 Australian Championships coming up next April in Melbourne.
And I believe we're live streaming, Michael.
Well, you've just broken the news, Dave Mills.
I don't think it was any secret, was it?
Well, if there was an embargo, you've just broken it. So, well, there you go. You heard it here first, ladies and gents.
Should remember contract a little closer. So, might be rumour we might be expanding the coverage even. I don't know. Is that just rumours I'm hearing when I got here off the plane?
Look, anything's a possibility here.
So, will we be hearing your dulcet tones, Michael?
Oh, look, I'll let them know my fee, and if they can meet me at the table, then we'll see how we go. No, look, honestly, it's a privilege to be able to call some of the best men's and mixed netball in the world, really. So, end of April next year, the Australian champs will come to you from Casey Stadium.
Yeah, it has been good, hasn't it? Like, we've done a lot of games over the last 2 years, and some of the quality of netball has been quite brilliant. So, if we can expand the coverage, that would be ideal. So, but my producer's looking at me with a grim look on his face. So, oh no, thumbs up. Okay.
Pistori nets his first goal.
Margin 13, and we've only not even played 5 in the second quarter. Australia.
Oh, I thought that was going to drop short, and that was going to be eaten up by Evans. But Bryce was strong on the take.
It was a perfect pass in the end.
Ormsby out of the circle. And that was a better hold. Timing was better on the pass also from Puroku.
So Ormsby's had all the shots in this quarter. In
Yeah,
fact, all but one for the match.
Yeah.
So he's definitely the focal point. But they're just struggling to get it to him.
Still need to do a little bit more work outside, bringing the ball closer to circle edge instead of trying to feed from high near the transverse line. To Tomo now, trying to set something. Good jump from Marco Rawlings. Beautiful shot from Tetomo. So the Aussies have doubled the Kiwis score, 26-13, just under 10 to go. Good take from Pistori in the second quarter. And Bryce.
Looking like this could be the biggest output at a half. They were 29-11 in the first test and 30-12 in the second, and already they're at 27, so you think they're probably going to get past that 30 mark in this quarter.
And look, that was probably a team goal to better their output, because they fell 3 goals short in the second test, even though they kept New Zealand to 23 goals again. So always looking for improvement.
We did say we thought this margin might be a bigger one at the start of in our preview.
Bishop. Oh, good hand to it from Martin. Sproats mops up. Fokadia, and again, too much on at that time.
That would have been beautiful.
Lee Torua just flings it forward. He had no one safe in front short to back him up.
It was a bad pass to him too, so he was already almost falling out of court.
Yeah, he was forced wide.
So probably just need to settle a little bit and be patient. Like, they're throwing these miracle balls that aren't coming off.
Oh, Marco Rawlings again. Great tip. Bit of a tennis match at the minute, and Lisa Harms just slipped over in back play. I wonder if we need to get perhaps a towel to wipe a bit of moisture from the court. Oh, Jack Edwards on the step back pass. Oh, Bryce.
Easy rebound for him, though.
And the Kiwis, too, they've managed to better their output to half-time so far. I mean, we've still got 7 minutes to go until half-time, and 13 goals is, the most they've put up in a half as well. So improvement from both teams goal-wise, but I don't think either side, well, I definitely don't think the Australians are playing as fluid as they did in either of the first 2 tests.
Yeah, the last pass a couple of times has just been a little bit astray, but, maybe the Kiwi defence is causing that, They're just working so hard, the Kiwis. There's just no flow.
And Fokadia and Noonan, Sproats are doing so well to keep the Kiwis off circle edge on their transition. Marco Rawlings, Martin keeps it in.
That was a special play there. Look at the transition.
Oh, Evans. Well kept in. Tan.
Ooh.
It needs to be finished by the Kiwis. That was a brilliant individual effort from Evans.
Can't buy a shot at the moment, the Kiwis.
No, it's a Toma 1 from 3 for this quarter. Ormsby 5 from 5, so his output's still very good. And Tan has called time. So it looks like Tyson Lalanga is coming on at goalkeeper, and Evans is moving to wing defence, pushing a bit of height up court.
Be interesting if Evans has got a chance to have a few more cracks here. He's already got 5 intercepts for the match, 4 in the first, 1 in the second.
Oh, great drive from Pistori. Oh, Lalanga, though, takes the rebound, but Pistori wins the ball back.
Kiwis have decided to go a bit more aggressively on Bryce. Not sure that's the best tactic, Michael.
Well, I guess it's probably just to push him off his marker, unsettle him. We've mentioned a couple of times that Fokadia has just been able to feed him on the fly, and that's something that you don't want. Pistori flicks it to Bryce.
Pistori's brought a new energy into the side, hasn't he, since he's come on?
A lot of speed, a lot of pace. He can usually finish off the shot.
On cue.
And that completes a 6-1 run to the Aussies to stretch the margin to 18. Under 5 to go in the second quarter. Ormsby has had 5 shots in this quarter so far and had 10 attempts in the first quarter. So the Aussies know that he's been the focal point to try and shut him out of the game. Talk to me about Draven Lee Torua. Would you put him back at goal attack, or do you think they need him in the defence end?
6 1 half does the other. I don't think he's done much on Pistori since he's come on, so he's burning with pace. He's chasing him more than anything. Like, he's been reactionary, not proactionary. And there he's lost him there. And I don't think he's done much in defence at all, to be honest with you. I didn't mind him at GA. He just needed to get the space because he was just crowding it occasionally, and that's all it was. But again, he was giving him a bit of zip, and the height, you probably need it more in the shooting end than the defensive end, particularly now that they've made the change at keeper. So yeah, maybe probably put him back at GA. So, but he didn't. He only had 1 shot for the quarter.
No, he had none.
No shots for the quarter.
Didn't put up a shot in the first quarter.
Well, maybe that's why he got moved.
Yeah, potentially, depending on what the instruction was.
Exactly.
I mean, Ormsby, probably needed a bit of assistance there, and he got it there. But that's great defensive pressure from the Aussies to force the turnover. Sproats, Martin.
So just checking the stats from the first 2 matches. Like tomorrow, he only had 1 shot in the second test and didn't play at GA at all in the first. So obviously he wasn't there long. But, to try and win a test match with a guy that's not on regular GA, it's going to be difficult, I see what they're trying to do, though. Like, obviously, that Ormsby is their focal point. And if they can get someone to work with him, it would. But it's just not quite working for him at the moment.
Well, you look down the Australian end and see, a much more even share of the workload, particularly in the first 2 tests. Not so much today at the minute because that's, goal number 28 for Bryce, 28 out of the 34 for the Aussies. So he's definitely being used differently in this game.
Yeah, I think that's because he had such a massive height advantage on Evans, who, don't get me wrong, I thought did a great job on him. Like, to get 4 intercepts when you're giving away that much height is brilliant. But, or actually 5, that's quite brilliant. But, it was just, it was going to be tough right from the get-go. Big man. Oh, showing a bit of range, a fullback jumper. So it's the 35th for Australia. Significantly increasing their output for a first half.
Well, this is Bryce's best game. Sproats Edwards wasn't ready for the pass.
A little bit of a head shake there. He wasn't happy with that.
Still seeking a perfect game at the Australian 23 and unders.
And Jack would be one of the younger members of the 23s?
I'd say so.
Yeah. So
Forka D is played in the New South Wales Opens past 2 years, back-to-back champions in the men's Open division.
Going for the 3-peat this year. Queenslanders might have something to say about that, I believe. Just saying.
I'm going to say Victoria's going to have a say in that too. So,
could have someone to make up the numbers. Oh no, that's going to come back. That's going to hurt me. So I better not ever coach again.
So under a minute to go. And it's not been convincing from the Australian side at all through the hands there from Sproats, but they've certainly been able to put out a massive first half score. That was better from Puroku. Better drive, better finesse.
It's been too infrequent, though, hasn't it? You know what I mean? Like, that was great, and the fact that we can remember that, it should happen every play, So they have struggled in that offensive end. And it breaks down, basically, as soon as it gets there, 9 times out of 10, they're kicking it back out.
And Ormsby scores one final goal for New Zealand just before half-time. But Australia with a very handy lead at the main break, 35-17 in the 23 and under division. So at half-time, the Aussies with the biggest lead of
the series
so far. In fact, it equals it. They were 18 up at half-time in Game 1 and Game 2, but an increased scoring rate from both sides, 35-17. Bryce with 29 from 33 at 88% for the half. Pastori, 3 from 6 in that second quarter, but certainly offered a lot of movement out at goal attack. Ormsby 7 straight, but was really quiet in the second half of that second quarter. And Tatomo 2 from 4. So the Aussies at 80%. The Kiwis also, but 44 attempts at goal to 21 is a big part of the story.
Absolutely. It's breaking down for the Kiwis in the offensive end. Like, they're getting the odd turnover here and there. They're getting it to halfway reasonably okay, and then it just breaks down. Like, they just can't get that fluidity that you need to get the ball into the shooters. And I'll say it again, I think Ormsby is not a natural shooter, so he's quite often not in the right position. Therefore, they've got to kick it back out. He is a solid target, don't get me wrong, and he's shooting at a ridiculously high percentage. It's just they're not getting the volume of ball to him. So they've tried 2 different goal attacks. Whether they try to go to a third one, we'll see shortly. But they just definitely need something there to get him Ormsby more involved in the game, because if you give him the ball, it's usually a goal, but his volume of shots is just not there.
Yeah. I think it looks like Stephen Bryce has taken his goal shooter bibs off, so he's had a pretty big half, 29 from 33. That's his best return in a match in this series. 4 o'clock today, Dave Mills, Fiona Crow with you for the Open Mixed game. You looking forward to that, Dave?
I am, actually. I know the series has already gone, but those games haven't been too bad. The margins haven't been huge. It wouldn't surprise me if the Kiwis got a shock upset there. If they can control Solomon, I think Solomon's been the difference of the two teams because he's just a rock-solid shooter. If they could get that under control, the Kiwis could surprise the result on Australia.
Yeah, Aussies probably a little rusty between the second and third quarters and only pulled away in the last.
Yeah.
Which was a reverse because the Kiwis actually won the last quarter in the first test, so...
And no changes in the shooting circle at all in that test match for both sides.
They wanted to secure the title.
Yeah, they did. They went hard. So, but we'll see what happens in that one. Looking forward to it. Fiona Crow, a very sharp netball mind, was involved in the Adelaide Thunderbirds there for a while in their back
Media
office.
manager.
Yep, in the back office. So she's got and a former Australian indoor player. I know we don't mention indoor
world
here,
champion. No, we did.
Oh, we did? Okay, cool. That's all right then.
Former world champion in the 7s and 6s.
Got in serious trouble when I mentioned indoor last time. That's why we had to negotiate that contract. So,
we've got to read the fine print. So a couple of changes to Australia Salvage at goalkeeper. Marco Rawlings moves forward to goal defence. Sproat's still at wing defence. Noonan moves to centre. And Jason Hurd on at wing attack. Cowling back on at goal attack. Braden Pastori to goal shooter. And Stephen Bryce has gone to the bench, as has Fokadia, Edwards and Martin.
Looks like Evans has gone back to keeper for the Kiwis as well.
He has Lee Torua at goal defence, Jellicoe at wing defence, Puroku still at centre with Bishop, Tatomo and Ormsby in the front line.
This is the Kiwis' best chance here, I reckon. And they match okay up on size here. So, you'd think Evans with his elevation could probably handle Pastora and get a good ball here. And if they can get the ball to Ormsby, they're a chance in this quarter. And they're away.
So the first 2 of the third term to the Kiwis brings the margin back to 16.
Slashes it back to 16.
And that was great ball into Ormsby.
And a great shot.
He's 17 from 20. Sorry, 18 from 20. So 90%. Just needs far more ball. Noonan now. Through the hands of Cowling, and it sends the Kiwis ahead once more, but through the hands of Jellicoe on the sideline.
It's a shame. It would have been 4 straight if they scored there with their centre next. Ooh. The equipment was in danger there. All the photography work.
We've had...
Ooh. Hello there.
intentional contact on Jellicoe. He's literally been on the court for 2 minutes and he's already got a caution. I believe he was cautioned, if not warned, in game 1 and 2. So probably needs to have a think about as to how he's contesting.
Yeah, that was very agricultural. It just literally ran up the back of the Australian player.
Oh, good move around the body from Salvage and picked off by Marco Rawlings. Not the best ball to Noonan, but Australia on the attack again. Pistori.
Evans went hunting, left the goal circle wide open, but worth the effort. When you're chasing the game, you're 16 down, you probably have a crack at that.
Cowling just has got the speed over Lee Tarua. But Lee Tarua, look at that lean.
It is a fair lean. It's Australians just seem to have picked up the pace in the last minute. Obviously, they didn't like the fact they dropped the first 4, and then they've just literally increased the intensity right there.
Yeah, Aussies with the last 3. Interestingly, the run to the break was 3 apiece in the final minutes.
So the Kiwis have patches where they're very competitive, very strong, and then unforced errors or a bad decision just hurts them. And it's not just one, it's like they go on a bit of a run of errors.
Oh, Tatoma, he waited for Ormsby to run back into the space. Gave him the hairy eyebrow.
The hairy eyebrow.
Isn't that what you do when you, like, move into the space?
Thought you were having a go at my monitor there.
No, not at all. We haven't got time for that. Oh, just offline for Cowling.
Good boards like the Aussies, though.
And Pistori is 4 straight in this quarter. So it takes him to 7 from 10 for the game at 70%.
He's a little bit down. He's an 83% shooter for the series so far, so he's a little bit down today, but they'll probably rectify that at shooter now.
And it's something else. Aussies have got a little more speed when they run the Pistori Cowling attack end, so it's something else for the Kiwi defence end to think about. Jellicoe just holding Jason Hurd, then Cowling on the fly.
There's that speed you were talking about. He's lightning.
Yep. And Noonan just really had an embarrassment of options there. Cowling was there and Pistori moved into the space again. Both Aussie shooters wheeling and dealing in and around the circle.
Certainly confusing it for the Kiwi defence.
Cowling puts through his first of the third quarter. Almost 5 minutes gone in the third term. The margin now 20. Ooh. That was a better setup from the Kiwis. Ormsby, very much the focal point still. He's got 20 of New Zealand's 22 goals.
Yeah, we've said it before. You know, he's high percentage. He is a good or viable option, but it's just not the volume. And they've tried many different things to try and increase the volume, but it's just not working for him today.
It's not only just the volume; it's the fact they haven't got someone else coming in to assist him in that space as well.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
The pressure is doubly on him. Oh, flick pass from Bishop.
But if he's not a natural shooter, which we suspect, he's doing a very good job.
Hurd looks cross court. Oh,
great take.
Lovely work by the floorboards from the Aussie goalers.
I thought Evans would be more effective in this quarter with the, because he's now matching heights, but he really hasn't. He's been burnt by the speed.
Yeah, and that's what I meant about having to think about something else. You can't be on the hold. You've got to be on the move the whole time and dictate where you want the shooters to be positioned to push them off their mark and really disrupt the timing of the flow Sproats through the hands of Marco Rawlings.
A bit frustrated with himself there.
8 for the quarter break to Australia. Jellicoe stuck for an option. Oh, that was almost beautiful from the Kiwis. Noonan now through the middle. Hurd. Cowling. Oh, good vision. Great dodge from Pastori.
Pastori, just timing is exquisite at present.
He's 8 from 8 in this third quarter. And again, just the timing over Evans.
Yeah, Evans has become quite ineffectual in this quarter, which is a shame because I thought he had a great first half. So probably the Kiwis' best at that point.
That was an odd setup to have Tatormo back in the shooting circle as the hold. And Marco Rawlings, great attempt. He's been looking for that all quarter. Oh, I thought Noonan was going to go down the line then. There's the beautiful play that was set up in the centre third from the Aussies. It was pretty to watch.
Really got two GAs playing at the moment, haven't they? And they're just moving the circle absolutely beautifully, creating space. The feeding is just sublime at the moment.
Reminds me of a Nat Medhurst, Shiro McMahon circle.
Absolutely.
Just great timing. Oh.
Reminds me of a Dan Ryan, Dan Cook circle when they played on Junior Levy. And they
I remember that, 2013.
Absolutely. I just want to stress I wasn't the coach that year. And, that was, poor old Junior. He had these two little tackers just burning him. So
it's just smart play. It's a netball brain is something that you can't teach.
And then the two Dans have two of the best netball brains you'll ever meet.
They do, yeah. Which is why they went into coaching, let's be honest.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's an old saying, like, sometimes great players don't make great coaches, but I think both those guys, Dan Ryan's already proven he's a great coach, and Cookie's on his way up too.
So the Aussies hit 48, and that's their best haul to three-quarter time will be anyway, and there's still 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, the previous best was 47-16 in the first. After they had an 18-5 quarter in that third quarter in the first test.
Oh, Pastori, uncontested on the rebound. That hurts.
It's criminal, isn't it?
Particularly when you have players of the height and the skill of Lee Torua and Evans. They just look a little bit spent now as Selvage wants a piece of the action. Noonan on the fly. Good swing back into Hurd. And that was all too easy for the Australian 23s.
Smart play by Hurd there. He took his time. He kicked out the right option, then reset for the swing pass and fed the circle. Beautiful use of the triangle.
Aussies notch up 50 to 23.
Kiwi's starting to get frustrated.
Oh, and Cowling. He took the back space down the side of the court to try and disguise his run into the circle.
Aussies look hungry, don't they? Chasing every ball.
They want to finish off this Trans-Tasman Cup in style. .35 the margin in Test 1 and 32 in Test 2. Tatormo, will he shoot? Good jump from Selvage, but nice goal from Tatormo. It's 3 from 6.
That must be his first for a while.
It's his first this quarter. And again, a warning on Jellicoe. Just a little costly for the Kiwis.
He's been on, 12 minutes. He's copped a caution and a warning. So next time off, he sits down. Is that correct?
That'll be up to the umpire's discretion.
Straight,
so
we had this discussion last evening.
We just hope it doesn't get to that.
Hopefully he listens to what she's saying.
Oh, good ball from Bishop. It was a good contest from the Aussie defenders. Couldn't haul it in. Oh, Ormsby.
Starting to miss a few.
Yeah, he's not just getting. He's just not getting the support
Great
at the
intercept.
front, except on that occasion, as the Aussies try the lift.
I'm going to show my ignorance here. I thought the lift had been taken out of the game.
No, lift's fine. As long as you're 3 feet. Oh, beautiful ball from Cowling. So 17-8, the quarter break. Under 4 to go in the third quarter. 6:15 will bring you the open men's clash. That's sewn up already by the Aussies 2-0.
Oh, nearly a hell ball there.
So Ormsby keeps the Kiwi score ticking over, but the Aussies have just got a little too much pace for their own liking on that play down court. A turnover for the Kiwis.
All four of the bench are warming up. Another turnover for Australia. Loose hands by Noonan.
Yeah, I think he thought he was going to get called for a replay, but
nice play by Cowling, and finishes with a shot.
Aussies want the ball wiped. Can't tell me they're going to be blaming the fact that they couldn't catch it on a dewy ball.
Well, that sweat's pretty slippery.
Oh, well, yeah, true.
Well, you never know. When the margin's 28, you really can't blame the ball, hey? So, yep, it's officially wiped. We're good to go.
And the capacity for more changes too from the Aussies as you see the bench warming up on the second court.
He's rotated fairly well there, Matthew Blomley, the coach. He's been in the 23s a couple of years now, hasn't lost a test. He's got him performing extremely well, obviously from Victoria. He does a good job with the 23s down there as well.
Sure does. He's won the last two, I think, in the 23s, back to back. If my memory serves me correctly. I'd like to see Cowling have a run at wing attack, actually. So,
I think that's his best position, to be honest with you.
So we'll see what occurs in the last quarter.
Depends if Edwards comes back on, I guess.
We'll plug Edwards at centre
Yeah.
for mine, but I'm not the coach. I'm sitting on the other side of the court. Oh, just out of reach of Hornsby's arms. Just over 2 minutes to go in the third term, 55-27 to the Aussies.
Noonan's made a seamless transition from the defensive end into the centre, hasn't he?
He's a pretty handy mid-quarter. I think he can play all three mid-court positions pretty equally, to be honest.
He's been impressive today.
Well, I'm glad he lived up to I think he's been the best player
Yeah.
of the series in the two games so far, because he's been stellar today as well.
And there is a player of the series announced at the awards ceremony tonight.
Yes, that won't be live streamed, but we'll have all those details on the AMNA social media accounts. So keep your eyes peeled. There'll be the presentation of the cups and the player of the series announced. Everything's been done in secret over the first two games. I have no idea.
None.
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 I couldn't get the scoop on anything.
You are the Nepal scoop.
Well, I was. Not anymore. But we...
Sorry to bring that up.
Well, no, good segue. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Netball Scoop, for streaming the matches also.
They've been doing that for a couple of years now with the national titles as well.
Sure have. Can't get enough netball. So I think a caution on Lee Tarua.
It's getting a bit sloppy for the Kiwis now.
Yeah.
They're up to 30. We're inside the last minute of the third quarter. They really have no answers for the Australians. This has been the Aussies' most dominant performance thus far.
Oh, yeah, 22-goal quarter from the Aussies. You can't complain about that.
Yeah, that's been their best quarter of all series.
Yep.
So they're finishing
very strongly.
Yeah.
Despite all the changes that they're making as well. You know, Luke Sproats, I don't think I've ever seen him play wing defence. Not that I've seen his whole career at New South Wales, but for him to be able to, be putting in a performance like this is pretty impressive.
They just haven't taken the foot off the accelerator. They have been playing at the same pace the entire game. So...
As time is called to end the third quarter, Australia with a 30-goal lead at three-quarter time, 57-27. The Aussies lead New Zealand in the 23 and under division.
Australia still in the lead.
Three-quarter time in the 23 and under division. A lead of 30, a 22-goal term to the Aussies. That was mighty impressive, Dave.
Absolutely. The mid-court and the moving shooting circle with basically 2 goal attacks playing in the circle just dominated Australia there. Unfortunately, the Kiwis are going down like a hole in a hot air balloon at the moment. They have no answers for anything that they see. They've tried many different things, but they're putting in the effort. But Australia are just that much better at the present.
Yeah, they sure are. Story with 16 from 17 in that quarter. Cowling 6 from 8. Ormsby still the focal point, 8 from 10 for the Kiwis, and 2 from 3 from Te Tomo. So 79% accuracy to the Kiwis and 88 to the Aussies, and far more possession, almost 2-1 in terms of attempts at goal. Some changes for the Kiwis. Langa comes back on at goalkeeper. Litorua stays at goal defence. Tan back on at wing defence. And Evans has moved to centre.
Moved around a bit today, Evans. But he had a quiet third quarter. The first half was good. Third quarter really didn't get much opportunity.
And for the Aussies, Sproats back to goalkeeper from wing defence. Martin has come back on at goal defence. Noonan has moved back from centre to wing defence. Fokadia back on at centre. So Selvage and Marco Rawlings take a seat on the bench.
Oh. Evans' hand went very much offside there.
Yeah, Noonan knew it as well. Stepping call.
Very quick three.
So the Aussies had 58 goals in the first test and 55 in the second, and they've got 57 already. So I wonder what their target has been as a team. The Kiwis have already surpassed 23, which they scored in the first two tests. So they'll be pleased on that front.
On this form, the Aussies will be looking at about 75, wouldn't they? And that's a lot in a test match. Well, it's a lot in any match.
It's huge. Well, I'll tell Matt that that's the target you've set for the Aussies after the game and see if it matches what he's got written on his paper.
So, still taking notes furiously there.
So that's goal number 20 for Braden Pastori. 20 from 24. Oh, Lee Torua read it well.
Oh, loose feet in there. Evans contact.
Oh, fresh airy from Jaden Cowling.
Probably didn't need to do that. That was going to be the Kiwi throw-in.
Yeah.
Just those little things.
Oh, Lee Torua, great elevation. So
Chan, the contact on the outside of the circle.
Puroku has gone to the bench after 3 quarters at centre. He ran hard. And Cowling offline again.
Circle's just gone off a bit.
Yeah.
Well, that was a messy little period there.
What was that? Incorrect throw-in.
Absolutely.
Evans to Tomo.
He's played the whole game, Tomo.
Oh, Tan. Strong ball through the middle of the court.
Didn't get those ball balls you were talking about.
Oh, unlucky from Ormsby. Foot out of court before he released the ball. Oh, picked off by Tan.
And the feed in. Nice shot there by Ormsby. How many's he got for the quarter now?
Two. It's been a slow start. Just 2-1 in favour of the Kiwis, and we're over 3 minutes gone in the term. That was a great jump by Sproats.
Australian throw. No.
Australian throwing on the
It is
sideline.
Australian throw on the side.
Conferring who's throwing that, whose call that actually was. Forkadia now. And that is Pastori's bread and butter, the little rock back on the shot. Restores the 30-goal margin.
Australia looking to finish strong now. Nice shot there by Cowley.
Oh, good take from Evans.
Under pressure
He's got
from
great
Noonan.
elevation. Oh, bit of deception there from Totomo. Good to see. Isn't afraid to do the look-away pass. Oh, and almost
hung there, didn't it? For eternity.
Almost took the intercept off the Australian centre pass as well. Offensive contact on Fokadia. Evans. Oh, too much on it for Tan. Oh, long ball from Noonan and Pastori finishes on the second attempt.
Bit of a highlight reel there.
He's probably been watching a lot of Gretel Tippett.
Yes.
She had a pretty good consolation cup.
She did.
Oh, to Tomo. That wasn't to anyone in particular. Jason Hurd just ran straight into it. Thank you very much.
The Aussie pace seems to have returned. It was just lacking there at the start of the third quarter, and all of a sudden they're flying again.
Wonder if it's the changes that were made. Just takes a little while to get used to the rhythm and the timing of everyone. So, just over 8 minutes to go in the final quarter. Oh, good touch from Lee Torua.
Trying very hard, the Kiwis. Just lacking a little bit in the execution of some of what they're trying to do.
Langa just with the hand over the shoulder of Cowling. Evans to Bishop. Best on court today, Dave?
I knew you were going to ask you that. It's a tough one for the Aussies. Noonan, he's played the whole match, so he stood out a bit. I've liked Fokadilla. He's come on at... he's a centre, but he's not a showy centre. He's just always there. His feeds are solid. But you can't beat either two shooters currently playing, or even Brycey. Like, Bryce played really well in the first half, but he only got half a game. So, but the two, if you made me pick someone, I'd probably pick Liam Fokadilla. So...
And just a quiet word from the umpire to Jake Noonan, I believe. No caution. I didn't see the signal. Great set play from the Aussies. Good backup from Jason Hurd, staying circle edge until the goal has been put through. It's a sign of a good mid-quarter when you don't back off.
Another solid shot. Margin 34.
Scoring rate has dropped off significantly for the Aussies, though. 7-3 the quarter break. And 6.5 to go in the match, in the series for the 23 and under division. The Aussies will win at 3-0.
And have we announced where the next one is yet, or not yet? That'll be decided later.
There'll be an announcement pending regarding the next international tournament.
Nice.
So stay tuned over the next coming months as to how that will look and where it will be.
There's no scoop from you there, Michael. You don't know something that I don't know.
Not at liberty to discuss.
Oh, you do. Excellent.
Unlike yourself with the live streaming, I read.
You keep your lips sealed.
I read the fine print.
Yes. Well, this could be my last game, people.
It was good while it lasted.
Yeah, I had a great run. So, be nice to see if we get South Africa back. We haven't seen South Africa since 2013. So, Manny Fiera, if you're listening in South Africa, maybe time to fire up the men's again.
Well, look, we've had plenty of viewers from South Africa for the live streaming coverage.
They have a men's national title every year, and it's nearly as big as our own. There's
they've actually just completed it last month in South Africa.
They have multiple divisions. Usually have between 25 and 35 teams, so not quite as big as ours, but still fairly solid. And it'd be great to have them back in the fold. We were there last in, I believe, 2013 when they had the World Championships there, and Kenya were there as well. So there's interest in Africa, and they also have an African National Championships. So it'd be good to see some of those emerging countries come through, and so we had Papua New Guinea start this year.
Yep,
internationally,
it was a fantastic series with the mixed reserve and men's reserve competitions, playing against the PNG Malios, and they're keen for more. Oh, quick take of the penalty from Tetomo into Ormsby. No goal, says the umpire, causing contact from Tetomo. He came in and sat under Selvage as he attempted to defend the shot.
Must give the landing space.
Cowling just gave himself all that space to drive into. Finishes on the second attempt as the Aussies push the margin out to 36. Oh, and Pistori was wheeling and dealing before the whistle to try and keep Lalunga occupied.
Disappointed in that shot, Pistori.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to miss him from that close.
Had a brilliant third term touch from Cowling. Oh, to Tomo. Oh, Sproats. Great read of the quick pass. And the Aussies are on the fly. Except for that last bounce pass.
Went the wrong way.
Yeah.
So I was ready to say perfect play, but alas.
Lee Tarua, we haven't caught him much in the second half. It's been hard work.
He has worked very hard, so he's played the full game, so he might be feeling the effects of that a bit.
He had an injured ankle in a practice game just 2 days before the opening test, so he missed the first test and was sorely missed, but
he's obviously got some skills.
He's a phenomenal player for WA in the Open men's team and in the Wannell over in the West.
The Wannell. Nice.
It's just an abbreviation.
It's impressive.
Yeah, the men's league. Oh, good read by Lalunga. Came off the line of Pistori early to read it.
Can they convert the Kiwis? Ormsby a long way from home. He's back in the circle now. Here we go.
To Tomo.
Yes.
Sweet shot.
Drains it. And the men's leagues are kicking off all around the country, Michael. They'll finish for the year. Or?
Victoria's. Oh, Noonan stays
Brilliant.
on side. I know Victoria's has started.
Yep.
Finals will be in December from memory. I believe Queensland's has finished for the year.
Yes.
And South Australia's and New South Wales all run at different times. Head to amnet.com.au for all the links to all the pages to find out about how you can play in M-League in your state.
It's good to see every state's pretty much got their own leagues now. It's taken a while to get there, but we're all up and running.
Story rocks back.
With range. It's the cherry. 90 seconds to go.
So,
Aussie's top 70. Might not get to 75.
No, but they might end up with their biggest win of the week as well.
Yes.
To Tomo. That's what he was waiting for. The move from Ormsby. He's had a pretty good game, Ephraim Ormsby.
Yeah, he has. He surprised us because he played defensively in the first two. We weren't sure if he was a shooter or not. No one gave us that information. And he's come out and he's been the focal point. They obviously had a plan, and they've scored more goals than they've scored any other game. So it's just that, the mid-court hasn't been able to get it to him often enough. So
yeah, he's scored 28 of the Kiwis' 34 goals.
That's a high volume.
And only 4 misses.
So
could hold his head high. It was pretty good early in the week too at goalkeeper. So handy at either end of the court.
Evans is looking a bit knackered. He's put in that first quarter against the big man Bryce when he got those 4 intercepts, and even in the second quarter he still worked hard, but it just seems to have run out a bit of legs now. So
sweet ball from captain Cam Martin to Braden Pistori. There's not much time left in this clash, and the Aussies have taken a 3-0 whitewash of the 23 and under division, 73-34 against New Zealand. A pretty impressive run from the Aussies across the week, and some very good signs with some very good players for New Zealand for the future as well.
Absolutely, like that game, like the Kiwis never quit on that game at all. They kept working hard. They had a game plan. You'd have to say it worked, because that's their best output for the match, like by a significant margin.
Yeah, by 11
goals.
Yeah,
so the game plan worked. Execution just let them down a little bit. They just need a couple of better mid-courting, not players, but like set moves and eliminate the rush of blood. When they got a bit frustrated and the defence was tight, they'd take a wrong option. You know what I mean? And that's the things that hurt them. And of course, when you're playing that Australian side, when you give a turnover, it usually means 2 goals, the one you miss out on and the one they score, So the Australians, they hurt you every time you make a mistake, and the Kiwis made a fair few mistakes in that mid-court area. If they can clean that up, we've got a much closer test series.
So we'll cut to a break and come back courtside with a post-match wrap.
I'm here with the Vice Captain of the Australian Under-23s team, Jake Noonan. Congratulations, sir. 39-goal win.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy to secure the Trans-Tasman?
Absolutely. I think we had a fairly solid 3 games. We built on every game, so we're quite happy with it.
Your margins increased every game. Did you guys have targets to do that?
We did, especially the last game. We really, really wanted to push hard, and I'm really proud of the boys. We really did it. We got out there and, it did really well.
Absolutely. Good. Heaps of changes throughout the whole series, really, and then you guys didn't seem to miss a beat.
No, we're quite lucky. We have such great depth. A lot of us have all played together with our states, and so versatile. We can throw people at either end and mid-court, and it's quite amazing, actually.
Absolutely. It looked fairly impressive from where I was sitting. Congratulations on the game and the series win, and I'll throw back to Michael now.
Cool, thank you.
For a pretty great 3 tests, winning 3-0, 58-23 in test 1, 55-23 test 2 today, 73-34. So we will go to a bit of an extended break back at 4 o'clock for the mixed open game. Dave Mills and Fiona Crowe will bring you that one, and then at 6:30 tonight, the men's open clash will come to you at 6:15 to intro the match. That's the men's open clash to wrap up the 2018 Trans-Tasman Cup here at Priceline Stadium in Adelaide. We'll see you in a bit.